So, I've been thinking a lot about this question. Do people still care about decentralization? Do they even care about decentralization anymore? You see, the other day I came across an article that I believe not a lot of people talk about. Well, at least I have not seen a lot of it being discussed yet, and it was titled something like "Why Capital is Leaving Bitcoin." Initially, I thought it was just another writing about capital rotation, maybe back into the stock market and stuff. Hence, the crypto has been down as the liquidity is drained out, but it actually wasn't. And after reading the article, it left me with questions, and then I realized something ironic. You see, the original reason people jumped into crypto was something like rebellion or censorship resistance, or the most commonly known one as decentralization. But today, that reason seems to no longer apply. And the shift is so big that even Bitcoin's purpose is changing. With that, I'm Daddy, and this is That Money Compass. So, let's start with why did people enter crypto in the first place? Before we continue to dissect, let's try to look back first. In the earlier days, crypto, especially Bitcoin, was actually a movement. I was there when crypto first started, and then Bitcoin was maybe around $10, Ethereum was below $5. But Bitcoin was first created because people were not happy at the banking system, at the regulation, at the middleman. So it was supposed to be a way for people to sidestep all of this. After all, Bitcoin was the first time you could, send money without asking permission, hold digital value without a bank, avoid frozen accounts, transparent, uncontrollable, and pretty much unstoppable. Those were the appeal back then, a form of rebellion. But there is a theory. Bitcoin was never meant to be the final state of money, but some sort of a tool to break the government's refusal in improving the financial system that has been so for decades deemed to be not great. Because here is the thing, Bitcoin is limited, right? Its transaction is slow, and it was built for survivability. That is how it was deemed to be like digital gold. Gold is also limited and inconvenient to be carried around for trading. Apparently, before Bitcoin, there's this intention to create this thing called e-gold, but it got shot down instantly, hence Bitcoin, by someone named Satoshi for the public. So even though it was meant for something else, it is really viewed as digital gold now, hence the big institutions are holding it, including the governments. But you see, with everything that is going on with crypto, we know that now there is more than just Bitcoin. There are millions of them now. But I'm not going deep into crypto now since this is not really a crypto channel. But this is also where I started questioning things. If decentralization was the whole point, why does today's crypto behavior seem so different? If you have been following all the crypto news and then started to reflect by looking back, you should be able to notice the change too. I started noticing this as I dived deep after realizing how Bitcoin is deemed as digital gold now, with companies and countries increasingly acquiring it. You see, people have started touting other coins to be as of importance, which use other chains where the coins can be frozen. So people also use stablecoins where issuers can blacklist addresses. People also prefer custodians who can reset passwords. No more seed phrases. People are also happy using platforms that hold their keys for them. You know how whenever there was a hack, people always say, not your key, not your coins? Yeah, you don't really hear it anymore now, do you? It is as if now whenever there is a hack, the corresponding platform or company will get blamed, and then the CEO will come out and say something like, oh, we are sorry, we'll pay back out of our own pockets, or updating the users through the social platform that they are tracing the wallets of the hackers, freezing their accounts, and then trying to get back the hacked amount through the means of controlling. Yes, control. So, do you see what is contradicting here? The original creation of Bitcoin through blockchain technology has the ethos of no centralization, no control, no reversals, and no authority. Yes, so naturally, this question pops up in my mind. Do people actually care about decentralization? Because their behavior suggests no. And that's the irony. People complained about regulation last time, but now they are going back to it. Originally, people hated regulations. Banks blocked accounts, payment processors are able to freeze funds, so crypto was supposed to be the escape route. But now, people seem to be flocking back to regulated frameworks, especially now the modernized ones. Well, they are still in progress as it has only been barely a year, right? But still, more and more regulations on crypto are coming out. The few things that are buzzing in the crypto market now are tokenized assets, regulated stablecoins, audited custodians, and more crypto altcoins being acknowledged, more crypto ETFs coming out. But again, here's the thing. All these other cryptos are somehow controlled by an entity, the creator, one way or another. It is centralized in a way or another. It is controlled in a way or another. The main difference? The technology, the framework, the infrastructure. But why are people now totally fine with it then? They were not back then, for sure. Simple. People don't really choose decentralization. They choose the convenience and safety. After all, it is still about money. Decentralization was only attractive because the old system sucked. Once the system got upgraded, people returned to the comfort, to the convenience, to the protection. Then the next question, which happens to coincide with the recent hype, is what is tokenization? Why is tokenization? What's the actual benefit? Why JP Morgan said that, well, that's the new billions business, right? If decentralization isn't the goal anymore, what is the goal? After all, it seems like what remains constant now is the use of blockchain technology, but why crypto is still in the hype? If you noticed, more and more coins coming out with all sorts of utility factors. AI, privacy, nuclear related stuff, whatever, even memes have their own coins. Then there is also tokenized gold, tokenized treasury bonds, tokenized stocks even. Next is tokenized real estate so that you can buy a fraction of share of a property or something. You see, utility is just a saying, at least in my opinion, from my observation as of now, until it really is being put to use, until it really is adopted. And usually such thing will only have real values when either it is widely used globally or big institutions and governments start using it too, which is equivalent to, this is the real deal here. Hence, Bitcoin suddenly surged like there's no tomorrow, and tokenization could be the next thing, simply because it improves another aspect of financial system that will benefit both the users as well as the companies. Well, especially the companies in terms of, monetary perspective as well. You see, tokenization is some sort of a representation of something. So in finance, it is a representation of an asset. For example, tokenized treasury bonds that actually represents the US treasury bonds. But what's the big deal then? Here are what it offers. 24/7 settlement, which means markets never close due to how the whole crypto system works. Faster execution, which means seconds and not days. Lower fees. Global access, which means anyone with a wallet can access tokenized assets. And programmability, like automated settlement, instant collateral, or composable financial actions. Linking it back, people aren't chasing ideology, they are chasing better system. But it sounds good, isn't it? You can trade whenever, wherever, 24/7 stocks, 24/7 treasuries, 24/7 gold, instead of having to wait at night or over the weekends. How does it work? They are supposed to link to real assets, right? Do you actually own anything? After all, if you directly buy a Tesla share, for example, you own a part of Tesla. Remember, tokenization is still part of crypto. So just like stablecoins, it also functions with pegging systems. Meaning, if you tokenize Tesla stock, the issuer must hold Tesla stock. If you tokenize gold, the issuer must hold physical gold. If you tokenize bonds, the issuer must hold bonds. So technically, the token is not really the asset directly. It is a claim on the asset. If you buy a tokenized Tesla share, for example, that means you own the claim to the actual Tesla share. The issuer owns the actual share and you depend on them. From my understanding, it has the same structure as ETFs or similar structure at the very least. So you are not really owning Tesla directly, but you are getting the exposure. For traders, this is perfect because that means they can just trade whenever, wherever, right? They don't have to wait. Whenever there's a sudden news over the weekend, they can just trade it directly. For long-term investors, maybe you think that there's no need since you can just buy and hold, right? But for people who want to get in with little money, this is perhaps good. So let's zoom out a bit. We now know that decentralization is not the core reason as to why the crypto crowd is chasing. It is more for the speed, global access, lower fees, 24/7 markets, tokenized real assets, regulated safety nets, custodial protection, and reversible mistakes. Basically, the stuff Bitcoin is not. And this is why people are chasing anything else other than Bitcoin. This is also what people call utility. Bitcoin was perhaps necessary when the system resisted. But now, the system has incorporated crypto technology. The war is over. The system is finally improving and the people are choosing convenience and regulation, not really ideology. They wanted freedom from a bad system. Once the system improved, decentralization stopped mattering. That's why people no longer, having a fight about decentralization anymore. They no longer mention things like, oh, this is what crypto is for, no authority, no centralization and stuff like that. But it was more of cheering for new regulation that support this new system. So to wrap up, let's go back to the main question. Is the reason people enter crypto today the same as it used to be? Perhaps not. Originally, it was rebellion. Today, it is modernization. It is about efficiency, safety, cheaper, faster global access, and currently, it is about tokenization. With that, if you like this video, do leave a like and share it, and also don't forget to subscribe for the next wonder of mine. Thank you so much again for watching. If you are still here, stay nimble folks, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.